that took the stream out with it, me trying to fix my capture card, but it is back, and hopefully not robo-voiced again. So I have bumped up my hyper transport link. Don't want to mispronounce that. Well, I set it to 2600 in bias. I don't know why it's at 2200. Let's just get a run in after all these issues. Or possibly not. This is pretty much what I was running last time. Yeah, I have no idea what that issue is with Radeon settings. Let's get rid of NVIDIA, shall we? Thirteenth out of 68 on the R9 290. Well done, Palazin. Oh, I did bump up the reduction, so gonna try it at the lower one that I was using last time. It'll be interesting to see the GPU temperature as well. .049 is what Rave did. Still no robot voice. I'm surprised. .3 is empty though. Let's run 3.3 to finish off the stream. Gonna watch some tennis after this. It's been a little bit touch and go. I don't think I have to use the legacy version, do I? Let's go 1200 then. Maybe hardware info off. Okay, let's go legacy then. Jeez. Why would a Fury be called legacy? Doesn't make any sense. OpenCL 2.1. I mean, why not? That seems kind of fast. Was that 100M? Yeah, 100M, okay. Bilko still with #1 bits all time. Very nice. Okay, that's better than the 3.2 results, so I'll take it. Been that kind of day, hasn't it? Okay, how high do we want to go on the core clock for the 32B run? I'm gonna give it 10 extra megahertz. Just because I like living dangerously. Just gonna watch the temps as well. I'm curious to see how well my pump and chiller setup is gonna handle the heat load. Wouldn't really know what kind of heat load Fury X puts out, but okay, let's talk about the Friday night stream then briefly. I will pick up some LN2 in the morning. So I'm a little bit in two minds still what I'm going to bench, but it's probably going to be the 7820X on LN2. So X265, X2U, that kind of stuff. And I'm also thinking about benching Sunday morning, so to follow Billzoid's Saturday night stream. And that's probably going to be Ryzen 3D for divisions. Okay, that's a batch one out. I think I'm going to leave it at that. I'm going to let this run finish, obviously, tear down my system, make sure everything's okay. Actually, what I will do is give a slight little tour of the rig as it's set up at the moment. So obviously that's the chiller. This is really awkward. Hopefully that's somewhat visible. So these are the really thick tubes that come with the chiller. That's the regular sort of connection. And then over here I've just taken water cooling tubes of a smaller size and a smaller size again, and just stuffed them into each other until it was all watertight, I suppose. And over here I have my res, my D5 pump and res and all that. Here's my alien, obviously, and that's the card. It's got a little bit of condensation there, but it's all under control. Obviously tear it down later to make sure everything's okay. Yeah, that's the setup. Pretty easy, I have to say. Okay. So, watertight. It is watertight. No, it's an EK full cover block on that card. Yeah, so that's that. So in terms of the chiller, I now have a working chiller. What I really need is quick disconnects, because by the way, the card is at 12 degrees at the moment up from 9, which is very reasonable, and we have a batch 4 out, which is 3 minutes 30. What am I going to use the chiller for? I've briefly mentioned this before, but now that it's getting more concrete because the damn thing is actually working and hooked up. It's 500 watts, so it's not really gonna do CPU and GPU together all that well, depending on the CPU, obviously. I mean, it could do a dual core or whatever, but I have a block which I can show you for a Threadripper. So I have the Fantex Glacier block. I'm not saying this is the best block or the worst block or anything. It's just what I had available to me locally. There you go. That's there you can see my OBS in it. It's so damn mirror finish. I think that's pretty impressive. So that's the cold plate. Now, the one really annoying thing was I'm missing one of the 4 screws. So hopefully I can get by without that. It's a big enough plate that if it's down flush it should be alright. But yeah, it literally came without the screw. So that's a bit annoying. As bits are falling out of it. So it's got a nice sort of fin structure in there, if you can see. So this is my main use for the chiller for now. Is if I have a card like a Fury that doesn't really go to LN2 temps, then obviously I'm going to chill it. I have a 4870 X2, for example, which would be damn near impossible to LN2. So that I might chill because I have a block for it. So older cards or legacy benches where, yeah, basically the combination. So if there's an older card that I can't LN2, then I'll chill it. If there's an older card that needs a little bit of help in Aquamark or 3D Mark 05 or 06. Yeah, I have a 4870 X2 block. I can get that too. I actually know where that is. It came without any fittings or anything. This is the block that I got from the UK for 99 pence plus shipping. So it's got a copper back to it. It's a full cover block, so it's got all these little indents on the back for, I suppose, the two cores here, some of the memory, and the VRM over here. And then it's got your average G and quarter connections. Obviously, it's a heat killer block. You might be able to read it on the bottom here. So my understanding of it is that the 4870X2s all had the same PCB layout because there was no custom cards. So I'm guessing this is going to fit everything. That also means that even though the block just came on its own like this, the stock screws and things should be able to just attach to the block. I don't know, I haven't figured it out yet. I haven't even run my 4870X2 yet. So there's that. As my voice is beginning to fade. So yeah, why do I have a water block for Threadripper? It's simple really. I have a 12 core first gen Threadripper, and they lose memory performance under a certain temperature. So I'd be hoping to dial in the chiller just right where the IMC doesn't fall off, where I can still get 3600 quad channel CL12 or whatever, and then run some current gen, some new 3D benchmarks on that. Maybe even things like X265 might get decent globals with that. So yeah, I don't have a huge selection of blocks and things yet. However, I do have an R9 290X with a full cover block coming in. So I don't know what I'm really going to do with that, but the chiller is really multifunctional. But the thing that I really need, as my GPU actually hits plus 14, plus 15, which is impressive, is quick disconnect, so that I can have a certain amount of tubing and fittings always connected to the Threadripper block, and if I have a card already testing or whatever, and then I want to switch from my legacy platform to my new 3D platform, I can just quick connect in my CPU block. So I think that's about it. It's going to be useful. Actually, one last thing for the chiller is I have a first gen Phenom chip coming in, and I do have a compatible motherboard, so I'd be really curious to see what I can get up to with the Phenom, because apparently it cold bugs temperatures so high that you can't single stage it. So if I can dial in my chiller properly, then I might be able to take some goals and things like that with that. But then again, I mean, stock, my chiller only goes down to 3 degrees. Apparently there's a really easy mod where you just take out a resistor, you open up the case, you take out one particular resistor, and then I'm trying to remember what it does. It's either it can still only go to 3 on the display, but it keeps on chilling until it hits the max, or it's the other way around where you can now actually set lower temperatures. Either way, it means that the chiller will just try to go as low as possible. But I have to say that the climate here is very humid, so I definitely run the risk of killing stuff that way. So, are we going to be finishing these batches? Yank the thermostat. Yeah, I think there's a pretty easy mod, but When it's actually going to get quite interesting when my SS is back working. No rave, I haven't. What's that upvote little fancy little icon next to you? Oh, the one cheer, nice. I haven't because I can't get into Radeon settings and change the compute mode. But I am taking the 3.3 goals, so that's nice. The combination of single stage and chiller would be quite nice. You have another crack at the goals. Okay, between the two of us, one of us will take away the goals for sure. So, quite a few cards have only a few. I can give you, yeah, that would be appreciated. They have dual BIOS, don't they? I literally just got the card yesterday, so I just plunked it into my system and that was it. Today was mainly about getting the chiller working. So if I can get my single stage back up, put that on the CPU and the chiller on the card, that opens up a lot of possibilities because my 7640X can do 6 gigahertz legacy on single stage. So quite a lot of cards have maybe 1 or 2 LN2 CPU on LN2 results. Negative voltage scaling. That's in 3D only though, right? Not in GPU Pi. So that means that I can get a bronze, for example, just on single stage and chiller, for example. So that's pretty nice. But I mentioned earlier too that I may actually be running out of power in this room. So I'll see if I can really run single stage and chiller and a heater at the same time. You were partially explaining it. I don't remember that. Yeah, I've heard of weird scaling in 3D benches, and I did kind of see I lost sort of like 10 or 15 points by going up in core clocks, but I'm CPU limited anyway. No, I'm a plus 100 at the moment. Negative voltage scaling, yeah. These cards are just weird. Okay. Well, earlier on when I was doing a 1B run, it wouldn't go past batch 4 unless I set plus 100. So that's why I stuck with the plus 100. It's obviously not much sense for it now on this 32B run. Well, as in there's a thread for that. I link it. I don't know if you go to the Hyperbot forums much, but it's quite useful. Are you using well, maybe I should start like this. Which board do you have? Yeah, what do you have, the Apex? Well, I would assume that this version of MemTweakit works anyway. Let's see. So these are the forums. And the Maximus 10 Apex is the Z370 board. And if you download this OC pack, you'll get Turbo V, MemTweakit, Rock Connect, and so on. I'll add the link to the chat. Batch 18. This is definitely going to be my last bench for today. It's 1:15 in the morning, and I also have some tennis to watch apparently. supposedly, potentially. May already be over by the time I tune in. Yeah, I don't know. Mostly streaming setup frustrations today, but the card is working well and the chiller is working well. So the main bits were working well. On the last batch. That's how I like it. Come on. It's not exciting when I can't go into Radeon settings. I can't apply any tweaks or anything. Yeah, it's not that simple because, like I say, I mean, I have room for my rig, my two screens, a keyboard and mouse, and a laptop currently. I do have an M80X. Oh, my stream is dropping off. Yeah, I have a case that I could potentially put the system in. It's just that I wouldn't have the third screen anymore. The blockchain driver. Okay, we're done. 17 minutes. With that, I really am going to end the stream. This was well, I'm going to wait for the drop frames to go away. This was just a very impromptu stream. Next stream is on Friday with Liquid Nitrogen, so please tune in. But thanks for watching, even though not everything was going right today.